The number one in the bit is the Antichrist. But I'm God! Not God, because the Antichrist, it's me!
Mic test. I need to inform you all that Mr. Mike Test is enjoying a comfortable partial paycheck from unemployment. In the meantime, Mike Test Jr. will be heading up sales at Mike Test Industries. Alright, hold on. Let's try to do this dang thing. Alright. Let's transition on in. Do we have music and audio? Yeah. Seems okay. Alright, let's paint. Howdy y'all, and welcome back to another paint stream here on Country 5 Minis. We're chugging along with the Paint Everyday Challenge despite setbacks. Tonight might be a short one. I would not have streamed today if it weren't for the Paint Everyday Challenge. I'm feeling a little shitty. I think I'm getting sick. Unfortunately, between the rain and perhaps I didn't wash my hands when I needed to. One of the times I went to the store, I'm feeling kind of shitty. Minis inked. We did put ink, didn't we? What we got to take a peek at? We got new stuff. New stuff. Minis on parade. Oh yeah. Yeah, they look great. These look great, sir, in Keldar. I think that, I know that the phone is not the best way to show these off, but I think you're used to the blue there in the cockpit. It was a really, really good choice. Also, did I see this? A cheeky little specular highlight here. Very nice. Got the quad PPC variant, and then we also have our. Did you say what Legion this was? The green is a really nice choice to offset the red. Looking great, and as always, I think what impresses me the most with your work is the quality you're getting out of your FDM prints of these bases. I can't believe it. I really need to polish up some FDM stuff myself. Fantastic work as always, Mr. Slink. Legion of Vega, yes, okay. And speaking of Legion of Vega, we're going to be working on some Legion of Vega tonight as well. We've got a full set of boys for an acquaintance of mine. Looks like we missed a little bit right there. We're gonna have to correct that before we get started, but otherwise I think we should be good to go. This Hitotsumi Kozo showcases how tough this ABS like is. I'm really happy to see that. Even though these are super thin, as long as we don't bump into it really hard, it should hold up. These are printed in Soraya Tech ABS like. Last minis for the year, everything's getting packed. Had to finish and base them so they can go in magnet storage. Well, heck yeah. I mean, I know a move is stressful, but it's also kind of exciting, is it not? Like, new horizons, the potential situation of new horizons and whatnot. I definitely hope your move goes really smooth, Mr. Slink. Anyhow, welcome y'all. Welcome to another paint stream. Here we go. We're gonna dig in. We're gonna dry brush these boys. We're gonna put a little metallics on them, and then I guess I'll probably get back in and paint these again tomorrow. I was planning on going to the Games of Berkeley Battletech Day this month, but I mean, barring like a really swift improvement, I think that's off the table now. I'm feeling pretty shitty. Cobstarn says, "Yay, no YouTube notification." Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. And honestly, I bet it's because I didn't enable automatic mid-roll ads on this one. But honestly, I don't really care about the numbers on these paint streams right now. I care about showing up and proving to myself that it can be done. Random Convos with Cassie pops in. Heading to bed, just stopping to say hello. Enjoy your live. Yes, I will do so. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you have a pleasant sleep. I'm going to be doing this every day this month. Probably not always this time slot, but today I was just feeling really shitty. So we're starting late, and we're going to keep it low impact and see what we can get done. And we're going to dry brush these mechs up. First, I'm going to go in though and find all the little spots that I've missed. I thought I gave them a pretty thorough, once over, but I guess I missed a few spots. So we're going to start with a little bit of Blood Angel's red contrast paint, and we're going to stick to the same ratio. So we got a nice little puddle here. We're going to go for 3 drops of water in it. 3 should be enough. I started to put a 4th, but I'm worried that it'll be too thin. We're going to go back to our number 4 round brush and give this a good little stir. We're going to dig right in. I got a notification, but I didn't check the box for one. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not really sure what YouTube is doing with the bell notifications. Sometimes it just straight up has errors and doesn't send them out at all. The Jurassic Park paint up had none sent out at all. I just try to check at 3, 6, and 9 p.m. EST at this point. Yeah, that's funny. I really should like tighten down the belt and get a more consistent stream schedule. December's weird. I think what we'll do at the end of December going into January is during the first maintenance Monday stream, I'll hit up the noon PST stream time and take a poll between all of y'all and do some polling, see what's the best time. We'll pull up the raw numbers and talk about that, because honestly none of them are like super clear as to what the best time slot would be. I've noticed people show up at strange hours. The few times I've done a late night stream to battle insomnia, there's been people in those chats. There's been people in the early mornings. So we'll see. And I think maybe getting like a regular showtime again will be the way. I'm definitely leaning towards doing the whole 12 p.m. PST on Wednesdays. I think that's a really good slot for the Wednesday show. But I mean, I know it varies for everybody with work schedules and whatnot. Alright, so we're doing a little bit of cleanup. The Tenchi first. I see little spots here and there where we've just missed a bit. And I'm hoping that this contrast paint is thin enough that the tide marks won't be too obvious. I think it'll be okay though, either way, because we're gonna hit this with some dry brushing. We'll go back in and we'll correct any spots on the white as well. Yeah, there's a few spots right there. Do a little bit of cleanup. And I think by the time we blast through all of these, we'll be ready for dry brushing. And again, y'all, I don't know how far I'm going to make it. I'm not going to try to cop out of it and quit early, but I'm feeling kind of cruddy. So I'm going to go as long as I can. Hopefully it's not like a real illness and just, you know, having the window open last night caused this situation. It is rainy as heck in San Francisco and quite chilly today, which I was really pleased to encounter. But to stream every day, do another 35 minutes and get some vitamin C and D in you. Maybe. So I'm working on some coffee. I got some water as well. This doesn't really feel, I'm not feverish. So I'm kind of thinking the whole like feed a fever, starve a cold wisdom here. I'm just gonna try to make it through the rest of the evening without consuming anything. I think it's doable. Might turn into an early bedtime tonight as well. But either way, we need to get a little bit of work done on these, because if I'm not gonna meet the recipient of these mechs for Sunday, I need to get them postmarked early Monday morning with the other packages. Got some eBay sales going out. I'm sending off my Fiverr commission. Lots of packages Monday morning. And if you out there want to get your own packages from me, make sure to consider picking up a commission over on fiverr.com. It's in the description down below. Or if you want to get your hands on some fabulous Locust Labs 3D printed minis, hit me up on the eBay store, also in the description down below. Also, as always, to all viewers of Country Fried Minis, make sure to check out with the Make Offer button and put in the field $25 to get a discount down from $35 to $25. And zinc, wait, zinc is for something else, isn't it? Always worked on Comstar Perceptors. I do best, yes. Yes. Zinc, wait, zinc is that the same stuff that comes in those, like the cold ease over the counter stuff? Yeah, I've heard about that, having some anecdotal evidence of success. All right, cleanup's looking good. Let's dive into some dry brushing then. That's the dirty. I just dunked my paintbrush into the clean water. I don't think it polluted it enough to matter though. Z-Pack, yes. This beat be hopping? Is it? I like most of the music here. There's a few I could stand to change out slowly over time. Alright, let's try out a little bit of my favorite Mephiston Red. And we're just gonna pick a spot on one of these mechs and apply a little bit to one of the edges, because I don't think this is actually going to show up. So let's find one of our models. Maybe this guy. We're gonna hide a little bit. Hide a little bit in here and see how it fares next to the Blood Angels Red. Just let it dry and give it a peek, because I don't think it's gonna be bright enough, honestly. It's basically disappearing. What's the recourse here then? What's our color, y'all? We go Mephiston red with a tiny touch of Wild Rider red in it, perhaps. Do like an 80-20 mix or something. I don't want it too light. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. This bubble. Check out this bubble, y'all. It won't go away. There it goes. Alright, let's put out a little bit of our... Oh, you know what? We should maybe use the wet palette for this. Dry palette for the other colors. Let's hydrate this lead. Just fill it up. These mechs are a thing. You just wanted to paint some Vega. No, they're for a basically for a trade. An acquaintance of mine sent me a whole bunch of old school Ironwind medals. So in exchange, they had actually requested a bunch of 3D prints, but I agreed to not only send the print but paint up a small force. They're specifically requested in the same scheme I did on that Berserker this time last year. Comstar Knight says, my wife and I played Alpha Strike tonight. She won with the JR7D. 1 point of internals left. My Fire Falcon did some work against her Mad Cat, but that Jenner didn't die. That's awesome. Yeah, you know, I did discover in my game with Locust Labs that, you know, it is faster and more brutal than CBT, but you can definitely still, like, if you're not hitting your shots, you can survive longer than you oughta. I definitely want to get some more Alpha Strike in the future. I think it'd be really fun. All right, do we have enough space here for? No. Let's just put a new sheet out. Let's just get a new sheet here. Into the trash with you. Garbage where you belong. It's fantastic to see her up and moving around though, feeling much better. Oh yeah, definitely. Glad to hear that as well. Alright, here we go. Let's toss on a new parchment. It's going to curl up, so we'll fight it. Interesting that the Army Painter brand pre-cut sheets always curl up on the long edges. I like rolling for each damage point too, makes it feel a little chunkier while keeping it fast in my opinion. I really need to try that out, and I think I want to get a few games under my belt. Internally, my initial like rebellion against that is it seems like an effort to make Alpha Strike feel more like BattleTech, and I don't know, I just feel like that's it. Me personally, if I'm going to try to make it more like BattleTech, I would just rather play BattleTech. But I am resolute to not poo-poo things and not snub my nose at new experiences going into the new year. So yes, we will give it a go and give it some honest some honest thought, and give an honest reaction to it. I think this is the way. I feel like I owe it to you all as BattleTech fans to experience all the things that y'all are into and like become somewhat knowledgeable about them. Yeah, we did that, but a Fire Falcon does 5 close and 5 medium range damage. When you got a Mad Cat's rear arc in your sights, you dump it all in there. You're gonna have to accept the expanded Pokedex then? Yeah, I agree. 5 damage in the butt equals 6. Bug was a great tank. I do love a thug. Yeah, I think you're right. It is time. It is time to stop being a curmudgeon about things. I can still be a grognard and have my opinions. You know? I don't have to agree with all of y'all, and I don't expect any of y'all to agree with me.
We're talking about the thugs. T is for terrible. H is for hell. U is for ugly. And G is
I
for
do need to try
them. The thug king spell.
I can't be like the obstinate child sitting there crossing my arms saying I don't like it before I've tried it. So less of that and more of yes. Plus, you know, the whole Alpha Strike thing, if I'm just down to accept any rule set, then that really opens the door to more live stream games with folks. And that's what I really want more than anything. It's not worth it for me to say nah instead of saying yeah. Also, thank y'all for stopping through and checking out what's going on tonight. It blows my mind that you regulars are like still here hanging out, and I appreciate it. I have no expectation that y'all be through all these streams in the stream every day for a month thing, but man, it warms my heart to get to hang out here with y'all while doing my silly thing. All right, so we've got our brush cleaned with acetone. We're gonna get out our dry palette, not our dry palette, our texture palette. All right, let's make a little room over here, and we're gonna try out some dry brushing efforts. I want to work a good amount into the bristles first, so we'll start here. Just work it in. Remove most of it here. And we can go for a pretty heavy dry brush. Let's start in the same order we put these boys down. Damn it, there's another missed spot. There's another missed spot on this lead. Let me fix that. We will not, in fact, start with the same order we put them down in. We will instead set the Tenchi down for a moment and start on the Hatchet Man. Just hanging out with the wang out, but not a hand. You're not the only one with the streak to maintain. Ah, yes. Doing the roll for each point is kind of saying let's make it more BattleTech, but also lends some more random tankiness to the game. I guess my rebellion against it is when it comes down to mechs that are kind of an all or nothing design, like a Hunchback 4G. Like, what exactly would rolling for each point of damage represent? Maybe that the AC-20 got like a glancing blow or something. Thug, Flashman, Fire Falcon, Mercury, not a bad team, but the Mercury soaked up 10 damage in turn 1, so it did, yes. Lesser are an all or nothing thing, so it kind of evens out. Sometimes when you've done 0, you still do 1, etc. I mean, in my mind, the all or nothing like appeals to me in a way. Now, granted, playing against a Mad Cat that does 7 damage is a little rough, but I don't know, it's still I kind of like the brutality of it. It emulates more of the dice randomness into it, which I don't know, feels more natural. It does kind of represent the way you can spread out damage a bit. But you know, I feel like there is an appeal to the fast and brutal gaming style. I don't know. I cannot sit here and pretend like I have a fully fleshed out opinion until I try it. And I think that's the truest statement I can make on it. I will make an opinion when I play more of it. Alright, this is basically not showing up at all. I think we could probably just skip this color. Well, I say that, but we've already got the color on this mech, so I have to put this color on all of them. So we're just going to do a quick and dirty dry brush job on most of these. And do our best to not hit any of the white. It's just because it solidify the color some. Alright, we'll boost it stronger with a lighter tone after this. I think the Wild Rider Red will add a lot. Honestly, with these being like solid red like this, I think that the heavy lifting is going to come from a weathering effect later on. The biggest question is, did you have fun during your game? Even playing is a step up from your previous opinion. Yeah, I had fun. I maintain that it's not BattleTech, but I recognize the value of it, and I did have fun. I actually wanted to play more in the moment. So I think if I were to plan for like a 3-hour stream of Alpha Strike, I might prepare for 2 rounds. Or even like potentially doing a 2 out of 3 thing with people. Otherwise, it does also open up the door to like a 90-minute stream, which could be like more palatable to some viewers as well. Just have a mech that can eat 7 damage and get a striker in there to fuck hitting them behind. Yes. Yes. I had fun. My wife had fun. Yeah, it's awesome. One like really positive thing I can give over to Alpha Strike is as a BattleTech player. I went in like a little stressed that like, oh fuck, I don't know these rules, and I watched a video from the Death from Above Wargaming guys, and I realized, hey, I already kind of know what we're doing here. Again, not my cup of tea. Like, I would prefer bigger, longer games. I think if I'm approaching the RP of a BattleTech experience, like, it's kind of hard to negotiate for the life of your pilot when they just die in 2 hits. But if you're playing a game for the sake of a game, I see the value. I do like it. I just would prefer CBT. If everyone has fun's great. It's a game. It should be fun. Yes. I'm not going to argue that point at all. I would prefer to play the more involved games. I like the added complexity, the tracking of systems, but you know, it is exceedingly difficult to find games where people have attention spans that encompass the time it takes to play the game, and that is, I feel like that's a two-part thing that's happening. One, we live in this modern society where we have this oversaturation of instantly available entertainment in short form. That includes a prevalence of really like short duration board games and whatnot. You also have people, having to work more hours, longer hours. So like getting down to the game store, for instance, to play games is limited by both your own schedule and their schedule. Like, I'm trying to think of the last time I was actually available to play like a 7-8 hour experience at a game store. And it's been years. I think Alpha Strike could be good for campaign stuff like Mech Commander style, Merc Unit or something. I wholeheartedly disagree there. I think that units just die too easily and too quickly, and it doesn't really replicate. It's harder to replicate the nitty gritty. Now, if you take the idea of what do they call it? Like a mini campaign where you're doing like a track of missions. I think that Alpha Strike would be really good for that. You could do like if you did like a planetary invasion map, where you end up having to play a whole bunch of small games with people, Alpha Strike would be really, really good for that. So I guess let me amend my statement. I think it would be good for campaigns as long as you're not doing any kind of bookkeeping of equipment or personnel. And I guess in my mind, a campaign is that is the extended experience, is tracking the pilots, tracking maybe not like the C-bill payments to people, but like do I have a large laser to replace that, or this time around am I going to have to send that mech in under tonnage, or like, oh, we didn't have time to do these repairs here, so I'm going to have to send in my Atlas with a blown off arm or something. Small games, multiple drops. Yeah, exactly. I think that could be really fun. We could maybe organize something in the community for that too, if we get folks playing regularly with like tabletop sim. Let me know if you catch this via the algorithm after the fact. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to get in on that. Make sure to check out the link in the description for the Discord and sign up if you're not there already. 2025 is going to be a big push for more gaming. So let's play more games. Let's meet up. Let's roll some dice. And let's have more streams. More live game streams. It's going to be really fun. Really, really fun. I know I've shared it before, but like, I think back to like being in my hometown and like trying to play Warhammer circa like 2003, and like, oh fuck, I got a little bit of red on the white. I was really lucky. I had friends who knew about Warhammer, and they had armies, so like we were able to get together at each other's houses and play the game. But like actually meeting up at a game store was kind of non-existent. There were no options. There was like, you could go to the Games Workshop store in Nashville, but like that wasn't really a place that was conducive for gaming. It never was, even back then, coming to like thinking about it in the past. Even back in like 01 to 03, they were still very much a like, what are you buying today? Can I help you look through our catalog? They were a little better about like encouraging you to play, but not there. And then there was there were 2 places I think in Murfreesboro, but like getting up there as a poor teenager was like not really doable. Like, you know, convincing your folks to take you up there and drop you off and then come back and pick you up hours and hours later. So like, I guess long story short here is like, for folks in that kind of situation, and it does still exist to this day, there are situations in which gaming may not be available to folks, and in creating a system where you can come play online for a very small monetary investment it's kind of great. It's kind of really cool, and I really want to embrace and play with that. I think co-op might be a game changer. No options for games. Why I'm so excited for Aces, which theoretically is launching mid next year, I think, so I can play some BattleTech by myself or maybe do co-op with a buddy. Yes, I actually theoretically I'm actually excited about Aces myself as well, and I'm shocked because that will make the first time I've cared about something that Catalyst is doing. The other stuff, I haven't cared enough to get in on it. In fact, I think about like the Mechs thing came out, and like in the moment I had the money to back, and I was like, nah, I don't really want this. So for all the shit talking I do about Catalyst, I will probably give them some money in that regard. And regardless of my stance against Catalyst's 3D printing 3D printing policies regarding their IP, as much as I disagree, I think there is a certain amount of giving a little bit of money to the parent company to support the hobby is required of us as consumers of this franchise. So yes, I will buy the occasional Catalyst product. Though I think at this point I'm more interested in stuff like with the Aces box. I like the rule set idea that they're coming out with. I'd be more inclined to pick that up than to go buy like individual force packs, because I don't know why I'd spend money on their sculpts when I can print higher quality miniatures at home for a fraction of the cost. As a mini painter, these are more than just game pieces for me. So like, I do kind of wish Catalyst would put their sculpts out in a higher quality. Surveillance Wizard said, I lived in an area where no one knew anything about gaming like BattleTech and 40K, even anime. Nearest Fame store was 50 miles away, and it was GameStop. Yeah, exactly. And I think in situations like that, Mr. Surveillance Wizard, I think that is still more common than people would realize. And because there's internet available to folks in like small towns or isolated communities, you can end up getting into these things without a way to like indulge that. And I want to explore and combat that going into 2025. Yeah, agreed. Now if they made those sculpts 3D files, yeah, I really don't understand it. I guess I do understand that they're just, embracing proven practices to protect their IP and protect their product. But the moment one of these big companies like embraces the 3D printing and shifts the paradigm to like actually making that kind of thing available, I think we're going to enter a really fun era of wargaming. Mako Helio says, hola folks. Well, hello, Mako. Welcome. Getting a little painting done. A little under the weather painting done. I'm going to aim for 2 hours, I think, tonight. We'll see. We shall see. I'm feeling a little cruddy. All Alright, one drop here. Aces for classic Battletech is planned in the future too. Interesting. Interesting. I do love the idea of like an AI rules. And I think that the potential to like play test things will be really good there. I like that idea a lot because, you know, I do a lot of play testing in Mega Mech. But Mega Mech does everything except for scratch the itch of getting those models on the table. Maybe a public play test of the Aces rules when they come out would be good. I could do a stream of playing against the AI. What you got on the docket? We're working on some Legion of Vega mechs. Doing the easy stuff tonight. We're dry brushing them up. We've got them coated with where'd that brush go? Just had it. We got them base coated with some Blood Angels red speed paint or contrast paint and a little bit of Apothecary white. So my pattern is head and right arm in white and the rest in red. And we're gonna dry brush these up through Wild Rider red. I think it's the approach. We're gonna come back in with maybe a dry brush of some Liquitex white ink onto the white areas, and we're going to work on some metallics. And that's realistically, I think, about all I have in me tonight because I feel like shit. I'm getting sick. Dry brush, best brush. Yeah, and dry brushing is a hot topic in communities that have high-end painters, but I've fully embraced it for Battletech. It's good stuff. It's a co-op potential that really has me interested as well. Co-op is underrated, but almost everyone likes jumping into the game with their buddies. Yes. Yes, indeed. I agree. I think it'll be really good. I think it'll be really, really good. I'm even hoping that it's like a pretty solid system for more RPG-like action. I've long wanted to run a Battletech RPG that has a shift to tabletop, like every few sessions. Do like a really light, low impact session where your people are in their mechs, you put them on the field, you guys kick back and down a few soda pops and chow down on some burgers and roll some dice. And I think that like an AI system for the rules will help facilitate that quite a bit. At Country Fried Minis, I was looking for dry brush tips, tutorials on YouTube. Show me your video using an airbrush on the Hunchy. That is funny. That is... I have some like fun airbrush hate content coming on at some point. I don't know when we'll get there actually, but I really want to do something fun, like hating on airbrush and showing people how they don't have to use the airbrush to do the fun things. I originally planned the Crater Cobras content to be like more long form, talking about dry brush, and I feel like that was a little bit missed in the 10-minute minis wackiness that came out of it. So y'all can expect some kind of dry brushing content to come out. I would say like painting a mech entirely with dry brushing, but I don't think that's possible because you can really call a mech done until you've done like the lens jeweling and stuff, and you're just not going to dry brush that. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. All right. Okay, our jump in color is not strong enough here. So I think our next coat, we're going to just go right to the Wild Rider Red. Anyone being elitist about what someone does with their own stuff needs to get bent. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. But the flip side of that, I think as hobbyists, we need to explore some of the techniques presented by the elitists to like kind of wrap our minds around where that viewpoint is coming from, and then add it to our arsenals rather than saying this is the end all be all. Like we can embrace the wet blending, we can embrace the glazing, while still enjoying the nice simple ink wash dry brush tried and true ease of application methods. I don't know. I'll tell you what though, Slink, you're making me want to do some like wholesome, beginner friendly content again. If you enjoy your interaction with the hobby, that's what's important. It's a hobby and it should be enjoyable. I agree. Although I've long said I kind of hate painting. I kind of hate the process of it most of the time. I've enjoyed it a few times lately. But like, I don't know, sometimes we gotta paint when it doesn't feel fun, I guess. Any painting technique is on the table for how you want to paint your miniatures, and at the end of the day, you paint your miniatures how you want to. Yes, I agree 99% with that. As a mini painter, I also think that we all should challenge ourselves from time to time and try to expand our repertoire of techniques. I think it's important to try some of these things out, to grow as an artist. And I mean, like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, I could totally like hand paint all these panels right now. I could glaze them. I could do painstaking highlighting techniques, but I don't know. This seems like a dry brush project, and I'm gonna fucking dry brush them. And if anybody out there is like, oh, you're creating content, you should be doing elite level shit, I'm like, nah. Disregarding either side is closed-minded and look at everything and use what you want. Mechs are really great for dry brushing too, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm there with you on that one. And that leads me to another opportunity to shill for Locust Labs. So Locust Labs sculpts in particular have this design language of the greeblings coming up out of the surface. So they take the details really well. Whereas stuff like the PGI sculpts, the work that Sylogy does, tends to have panels that go inwards. Even the Catalyst models tend to have more panels that go inwards, but they have deep enough cuts in them that it'll pick up dry brushing. Yeah, I think Battle Mechs kind of are a dry brusher's paradise when it comes to models. The only place it really gets better is if you're doing like a force of furry critters, and then dry brushing's even better. Oh, Bioni says, Halo, it's 3:50 here. Why am I awake? Oh my goodness. That is way too late to be seeing the nonsense that's going on here. But also welcome, and I appreciate that you would stop by in your insomniac state. I have been known to do the same thing. I'm quite partial to the Peganeko streams. I find them a lot of fun, and they always happen at like 2 o'clock in the morning for me. So anytime I catch one, it turns into a late night traipse into poor sleep. CGL and Lucas Labs approach it as a miniature model. PGI never did because those models were never intended physically. Yeah, exactly. But it's funny because of the work of Sylogy specifically, the PGI models have become kind of synonymous with 3D printing in the BattleTech communities, and I find that really interesting because they're kind of hard to paint for the average painter. I think because of the scale of some of the details on them, and the need to put them out with really, really high levels of fidelity, they're kind of like advanced models. They're not beginner friendly. But yet, like, I think when most people like visualize, most BattleTech people who have a mental image of 3D printing mechs probably think of Sylogy's work. They look great in game, but the tiny bits are extremely frustrating in miniature. Also said Shield Arm Centurion was a great addition. Yeah. I'm trying to think what the worst offender of that is. And I want to say it's probably the Direwolf. The Daishi's cockpit is basically non-existent. The details are just way too soft. And it's because that I actually ended up picking up the version of the Daishi by Sir Mortimer Bombito. I picked up his Daishi A, and it's awesome. I haven't painted one yet because the only time I printed it out, I had some bad resin settings and it failed, and I just haven't printed one yet. Don't like Shield Arm Centurion. I'm there on both accords. I like the Shield Arm one, but I also like the old school. I don't have it handy. I have the old Ironwind Metals Centurion somewhere, the one with the rotary cannon on the arm, and I love his silly ladness. You know, I need to do a Locust Labs Centurion now. That one has the same quality as the Vindicator. It's a very basic jobber of a machine. Very, very basic, like nothing impressive about it. Design philosophy, and I think that lends itself really well to a line troop back like that. Lux Labs does a Victor and a Grasshopper, especially if they have a jumping version. I will be all over that. Let's see, the current stuff that's getting worked on is the Tokugawa tank came out, and I think, I'm not 100% sure, but based on the pictures, I think the mech that's currently getting worked on is an Avatar. The VAT cleaning setting in the Mono X 6S is very handy, just a random thought. I haven't tried it out yet, Comstar. Mini Hulk Mechs is my favorite 3D print Centurion. I think classic silhouette with the shield. Mini Hulk Mechs is a really interesting sculptor because this one's got a lot of residue on it, so I apologize for that. But you can see, like, this is very much like, this is dead on the nose CGL. I mean, it's really hard to say that there's anything legally distinct going on here. They're not. But when you examine them side by side, you can tell there are small differences. I don't have a Hunchback, a CGL one handy. But I guess Mini Hulk Mechs gets away with a lot of that by having designs for free. So just saying, if you like the work that Mini Hulk Mechs does, you know, make sure to go download some stuff from them over on Cults 3D, and keep an eye out for ways to support them. Wolverine looks like he stole their files. Yeah, exactly. Off Bioni says, I'll turn off the screens now. Have a good stream. Yes, you have you a pleasant sleeping, good sir. And I will give you those push-ups.
Okay.
Bye, everyone. She can go on forever.
Drop it down to give it to him. Oh boy.
Those simple push-ups just gave me a fucking wicked head rush. In my ill state. We'll see how it goes with the next set. I may drop back down to my knees tonight. Alright, so let's go on in with a big step up in color here. We're going to take this Wild Rider Red. And going to that one next. Yay! I love being sick, y'all. Really fun. You'd think I'd learn about being more diligent on washing my hands. I do live in an apartment building with a bunch of people. Okay, so this might be too much of a jump. I'm not really sure yet. Let's give it a go. Anytime I have any sort of print failure on my Mars 3, I run the vac clean. Better than trying to pick at the FEP to dislodge any bits, cure them all in a sheet and peel it up. Yeah. I haven't had any major failures yet on my mono. So I haven't really needed to consider that too much. But yeah, it'll do well to remember that if any failures do happen. You did a big gamble and the bot is not listening? That Mini Hulk's Wolverine is being a beach. I can't believe you're having issues with it still. I don't, I haven't had any at all. And I don't know what's going on there. You might have like some weird FEP suction stuff happening, maybe? I don't have any insight there. Oh, that's too much. Too much. Ow. Alright, so this time around, we're doing a pretty considerable jump in color quality. So we're going to try to keep our application a little more limited as to where we're attacking. And just hit areas that are going to respond well to that amount of highlighting. So raised corners, high spots, anywhere that the light's going to be hitting it. So like along here, the front, we hit this pelvis piece, the tops of these shins, top of the gun. Pow. Benchy's a really cool looking mech. Yeah, I've never played with one. It's an interesting build. I can't remember where it came from, to be honest. my friend sent me the file. Alright, so we're gonna hit the knees here. Boom, get those nice and oranged up. Hit the sides of the legs right here, just coming down that thigh. This one, there's a little bit of shadow going on here, so we're just gonna do the same thing, but start midway. Top of the arm, top of the shoulders, the breast, the gun, top of the back, elbow. That's it. And maybe we'll do these things on the back of the feet too. And then the tops of the toesies. Not much. Very subtle effect. It's on Cult somewhere. I have that model too. I can't remember if he sent me a file directly or a link. Alright, shoulder, top of the arm, breast, top of the gun. We're thinking top down, so knees, the tip of the cod armor, top of the toes, tip of this armor plate, center of the back, top of that armor plate, coming down the shoulder. And that's it. Very subtle. Very subtle effect. Simplistic. Understated. Nightbot reminding folks about the Discord link. If you're not already over there, please feel free to stop on by and share with us what you got going on. I think I accurately speak for the community that we want to see what you're doing. We want to see what you're working on, what your ideas are, how your hobby corner's going. We want to hear about your game store struggles, or exploits in video games. Whatever you got on your mind, come on by. It's a community full of hobbyists of varied interests, all of whom who have something to share, and that could include you. All right, so top of the shoulders again. Boom, get that orange on there. Across the gun. I think we're gonna go down the whole side of the leg here maybe, but like starting at the middle on the side here because of this gun, which would have a shadow. So we're gonna just do that, give that a nice teasing, a nice touching. Same here, but we're gonna come down the whole front now, like that. Boom. Across the pelvis, across the breast, inside of the gun a little bit, and then same here. Same approach, but only on the side of the leg. Alright, back here, we're going to go just across this lower bit on the legs. And then the butt. Alright, that's coming right along. Let's do a more reserved approach on our white here, I think. So the white's getting it on the shoulders for sure. But we need to be really careful. And then down that gun, top of this arm. Top of that shin that's sticking out. The digitigrade knee back here.
Well, butter
Top
my
of the
biscuits.
shoulders. At the time attack. Bringing it back. Alright, that's it.
And a
That's all we
double
need there.
helping of gravy.
Is extra thick. Alright, let's hit these shoulders. Let's try to get those AMS systems really well. Here too. Ah! My eyes.
Oh, jeez.
man. Let's blast through these. Let's blast through these. I'm feeling really cruddy, y'all.
The crop.
I'm feeling
And
really
there is
cruddy.
no one that does it better.
Let's try to get through. What else can we do?
Talking about the thugs. T is for terrible.
Let me try to get through this orange layer.
And G is for jail. Cause a thug king spell.
Blast through that. We're gonna hit the white with a white coat, and then I'm gonna try to get into the metallics.
The number one in the bed.
But everything in my body right now is telling me to quit.
But I'm God, not God, because the Antichrist, it's me.
But you do work out.
I do work
Give me
out.
10.
Okay.
All right, I think how I feel after these
Bye, everyone.
push-ups
She can go on
for sure.
forever.
Thank you for your concern of my physical health, Mr. Tomstar. Lucas Labs penetrator has an MS wrong. Yeah, there's another issue with the Summoner B. The arms are LRM 15s and not LRM 20s. Which honestly, I could probably do like a fixed version myself. Now that I know a little bit about digital kit bashing. Yes, bit music is fun. I really need to clean this brush good. So let's actually get like a good dousing of acetone here and really swizzle this thing around. I'm about to dry brush on white, and I don't want any of this crap finding its way into my bright white color. There's a whole bunch of chunky crap coming out of this brush. I love acetone. It's such a good solvent. I'm telling y'all, if you ain't got acetone in your hobby corner yet, you're fucking up. Get you a bottle for cheap. Maybe next time you're checking out at your local big box store or Dollar General or whatever. Acetone, good stuff. Kind of want to make my own dropship storage case, but I also really don't want to learn 3D modeling. That's fair. That's fair. It is a pain in the butt. I'm going to be exploring some sculpting from scratch soon with the atlas I've been working on. Okay, I think we want a nice cold white to contrast our bright red. So we're going to go with Vallejo's white. And I'm hoping that using our palette here will help prevent the chalkiness that plagues so many white paints. We shall see. We shall see. Is that coming off pink or orange? Is it? Yeah, it's a little pink. We got to do another pass through of the acetone. Let's do that. Just a tiny, tiny, tiny hint of red in there, and it's making it pink. So we need to get rid of that. This was something that came up in tattooing a lot, actually. When you're working dark to light on your colors and you're cleaning the needle in between colors, found it really tough to ever get the needles clean enough to do like a really nice clean white. And I would often have a second machine set up with an extra new needle in it to do any white lines. But it's been many years ago now. Tried any Pro Acryl Bold Titanium White yet? No, I have not. I've not ordered any. I think I should maybe think about doing that with my next order of paint, especially while the strike is going on at Vallejo. Look at that. That is still coming out so gnarly, disgusting. Can't believe it. Trying to get this as clean as possible, you know? Let's try again. Let's see how this fares. See if that's any better. Make sure our brush is decent. I almost feel like I should have a set of brushes for the application of white specifically. All right, let's give it a go. Is it coming off pink? It is. It is a ghostly pink. I think I just need a fucking brand new brush for this. I've cleaned this 3 times at acetone. It is still pink. Absolutely ridiculous. What do we do? We're going to swap to this brush maybe. This one looks like it's got gray in it, but no red tones. So let's give that a go and swizzle it through the acetone. Let's give it a swizzle. Swizzle. Unlock it. Look at all that. Man. It's so funny, like, even like rinsing your brush and putting them away, they can often be much more dirty than you think they are. And if you get a good solvent that dissolves acrylic, you'll see just how fucking dirty they are. That's fucking bonkers. How much paint was in this brush still? This is a Army Painter Wargamer Monster brush. I don't even know where this came from. No idea. You know, I can tell that this is a pretty good quality brush there, surprisingly. Army Painter known for having decent brush. I find a light bit of rubbing alcohol and Dawn soap helps clean my own brushes pretty well. Probably came with your speed paints. Yeah, that makes sense actually. The 1.0 set. Alright, let's ruin this brush now with some dry brushing though. Alright. Unload the brush. Get a good amount left on it, but not much. came. Alright, let's give it a go. Give it some love. Give it some teasing and touching. I think what we're going for here is to just highlight the upper facing portions, because we're only doing the one layer. So we're going to treat this like we just did with our orange. And I can tell there is a tiny bit of red that has come off with it out of the palette, like a fraction of a percent. Which really sucks. But man, that just immediately gives so much life to that color. Alright, this is going to work. Let's try to find a spot that doesn't have red on it. So we'll unload right here, and then we'll come over here to get it prepared. We'll give it some swipes. Try to be very controlled about it though, because these are tight spots on some of these mechs. Right there, and then we'll go across the top of this arm. Give it a little bit of love. We want to preserve that gray in there. It's actually the gray from our speed paint that makes this work. It's what makes the effect work. Komodo is whitened up. Ultimate dry brush, cheap makeup brushes. Yes, I got a few of those. I need to get some more. That is a really good tip. Splatterpunk. I don't remember where these came from. I think they're like a shitty Amazon special, but you can tell these are rode hard and hung up wet. I need to get another set. Here's another one. But that big, soft, poofy tip, so good. I really would love to get this kind of brush in kind of this size right here. Like just a small little poofy tip on it. All the cheap makeup brushes I could find were 140% ass. Had exactly the opposite experience. But I have a small sample group here. Black nylon and the girly makeup brushes is best. Black nylon. I wonder. Those are probably nylon. Those ones I have. Not really sure if I know of a brand to recommend. But the one I have definitely came off Amazon because it came from the there's like an Amazon returns store in my hometown, and that's where those came from. My mom had picked them up and she was like, "Could you use these brushes?" I said, "Absolutely." And they've been really good. They're good for very large applications too. I just don't have a small one. I don't have a good set of small brushes. Alright, so same deal. We're going to hit this arm and try to concentrate the dry brushing on areas where the light's going to hit it. Basically, because we've used the speed paint to set in our shadows, this dry brushing layer kind of serves as a third color. Let me get this back out. I'm trying not to rub on this partially cured red because I don't want any pink in it. Let's try to give a little love here. We're probably going to have to go back in and manually clean up the spots where we had a little red spillover, unfortunately. But that's fine. I'm just trying to keep these mechs as low impact as possible. As little effort as possible and get through them as quick as possible. Let's do this. One more run. Get that head. This one is all right. I thought the details were going to be a little too soft there, but they're fine. This one's working fine. I think we may paint this thing in like yellow, kind of like a little nod to Gundam, which I guess itself is a nod to the armor. What do you call those? The helmet? Kabuto? Nightbot calling for a popcat. I want to call for a popcat. Is the bot not listening?
Would you do a workout?
I do.
Give me 10.
Okay.
Who said that? Alright, let's see if that...
Bye, everyone.
I'm not going to
She
deny
can go
you your
on
push-ups,
forever.
but I want to see if the bot is listening. Okay, the bot is listening. Alright, let me give you your push-ups. It's what, 30 tonight? I feel it though. I feel it. I'm feeling cruddy. Hey, just a reminder, y'all. Make sure you wash your hands when you get back from the store. Make sure you wash your damn hands before you eat that bag of chips. Friendly PSA. Germs are real. Where'd you get that dry brush palette unloader thingy? Someone in the community sent me the file and I printed it on my FDM printer. I actually will be working on one myself, a Country Fried Minis styled one, and I'll list it on my eBay store eventually. I can't say it's anytime soon because I still got to sculpt it up, but you can make one of these really easily if you just have a bunch of bits laying around and glue them to a piece of plastic. What I do advise is you want like a big texture, like a really large texture. I often hit this spot right here and unload the brush before working it into this medium texture, which is like this diamond pattern. And then you want a really fine texture in it as well. These are like really shallow bricks on the surface. And this has made a huge difference. Can't remember who it was, but a community member shared with me that if you use this instead of a piece of paper towel, it'll keep your paints from looking chalky. So this is actually like this is one of those things that you don't necessarily need in your hobby collection, but once you start using, it's kind of hard to live without. I think I posted a link in 3D printing section of Discord a while ago. That sounds correct to me. Nice. We'll print it off on my Bamboo Lab A1. Oh yeah, heck yeah. Perfect. I even think that like FDM is perfect for it because it, especially if you get like the imperfect surface detailing, because it just enhances how it works. Now I can say a buddy of mine tried to print this on the resin printer and it didn't work because all these little pieces over here actually don't have supports underneath them. So the FDM printer adds the supports itself to this section right here. But yeah, they're worth using. I can attest. The last set of minis I painted without it was my Crater Cobras, and the paint indeed looked way more chalky. It's because the paper towel pulls the moisture out of the paint. Even though it's dry brushing, you still want your pigment to be moist, nice and moist. I don't think I was the original contributor. I posted the link after you got questions about that one, unless it's sent in that forgot about it. Yes, I recall this. I can't point out who sent it off the top of my head. Someone did. And I got it originally because I wanted one to fit on my army painter palette, but the curve here doesn't actually match. So this thing kind of just lives on my desk now. Mr. Upside Down. Yes. I know exactly who you're talking about. It was indeed Mr. Upside Down. Thank you. There's a reason that you're the remembrancer of the Nate. Was another Nate? It might have been in one of the voice channels originally, but I do know this file has gotten shared a few times. It is available in the Countrified Minis Discord somewhere. All right. So we've got our white applied. They look decent. I think I'm gonna try to do the metallics, but I'm telling y'all, I feel like shit. My body is yearning to lay down. But let's get a little progress in before I commit to that. We're gonna come in with this tiny, teeny brush, and we're just gonna cover over some of those spots where we had a little bit of red spillover. Just try to clean that up and minimize the look of it. One of them was really bad. This guy right here on these canopy posts. And then someone else, this guy. Come in here and try to cover that. A little bit of white. I'm not necessarily just like going to fully cover this, because this white is going to have a hard time covering that really strong red without like looking really obvious. But we can go in there and just give it a little bit of love. Someone else had a spot. This guy right here. Let's give that a little touching over. Try to feather it some so it blends in with the dry brushing. There we go. Alright, that looks decent. Any red spillovers here? A little bit on the arm. So we're going to come in and just cover that up. Now, there we go. Link is pinned, comments, and 3D printing on Discord. Excellent. I reposted it because I didn't know how to link to other posts yet. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Thank you. All right, let's do a little metallic. And we'll see how we're feeling in about a half hour. You ever test print that BattleTech themed texture palette I slapped together? Never got around to it. Now can't because of the move. I have not actually. Slink. I can queue it up though. I got some prints I need to do over the weekend, but I'll make a note to test it. I think what the last FDM print I did was. Wait, you were wanting to do that one in? That was for the resin machines, right? Yeah, I can run that on my machine. Okay, so we got this brush mostly cleaned out. It looks like there's still a little bit of gunk in there, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. Let's get out some. Let's go with duraluminum. Go with our Vallejo metal color. Can do it FDM or resin. Yeah. I trust fully that the FDM one's gonna work. I was interested in seeing if the one sized for the small resin machine would work, because I think there's a market for that. All right, let's go with some duraluminum, and this stuff is a real jerk, but it'll be fine. Slap this on a handle and start getting in there with it. I'm thinking this whole front panel on the missiles should go silver. Now, if I recall correctly, this stuff doesn't actually cover super well over red, so we may have to do 2 coats. I've said time and time again that this paint is like magic and does 1 coat coverage, and I feel like it does, just not on red. So that's looking pretty much covered. We'll just do a second light pass afterwards. We'll do the same on the back. Let's get both of those set up. Resin printing is special. The flat pieces will warp in the wash and cure cycles. Yeah. I've seen weird failures. I think I tend to prefer the resin printing. It goes a lot smoother in my experience, but I think part of that is from I started FDM printing with the Anycubic Cobra Go, and that being an entry-level machine kind of has led to problems, really irritating issues that I think probably wouldn't be as hard to handle if I had spent a little more on the machine. FDM printing definitely seems like a tinker hobby, always tweaking your machine, rebuilding parts, etc. But like the size of things that you can print on it and the durability is kind of unparalleled. All right, that's our missiles on the front. My Bamboo Lab machine is failure proof. Yeah, I really regret not going for a Bamboo Lab one myself. Though that said, I have learned a lot out of necessity to keep my machine going, to know how to change parts, to kind of troubleshoot things. And honestly, I think I could really say the same thing about my SLA printing experience. I've had to learn a lot about settings and dialing things in. As with any hobby, it requires a growth of knowledge to get there, I think. I really like the cooling vents that we have here, and I think they should maybe be silver. Let's try to just get in there really carefully and fill those in. Those will look really good with the NULN oil over top. Yeah, let's see if we can get in on the other side too. My Creality FDM printer shit the bed within a year. Haven't fixed it yet. Yeah, it's definitely a pain, and it sucks too because there are some times where just resin is not going to cut it. Sometimes you need a big thing. Sometimes you need to, like, I've got a rack up here that my pliers live in. I've got a little mount on the wall over here where my Dremel lives. Hell, I 3D printed a hook for my headset. that's right here on the side of the desk. My Elegoo Neptune 2S was a budget printer that let me learn, but I didn't have near where the problems is Country Fried Minis. I spent like $150 on my 2S. Yeah, I would not recommend the Anycubic Cobra Go. It almost feels like Anycubic is maybe not as high quality in their FDM printing as compared to what they're offering for their SLA. Of course, I have a sample size of 1, so like I can't really attest to that with any accuracy. All right, let's get that metallic down. Get these barrels all painted up. In fact, you know, I think we may. No. I was going to say we want to flood this whole end with silver, but we didn't do that on this side, so we're just going to paint the barrels in silver. These 2 weapon ports here should go silver. I flooded the area with too much paint. Try to slow that down some. This stuff is really liquidy, so if you overdo it, it can push into crevices with capillary action. So you really got to be careful. All right, where else is demanding metallics? I think maybe these vents on the front, right here. Yep, do those. Let's look on the back. Is there anything really shouting for metallics? I don't think so. I think we kind of want to limit it on these mechs. These are really going to showcase the whole wear and tear. We're going to go for the sponge chipping big time. Best of the hybrid process, SLA glued with FDM. Print all my bases in FDM. I've had mixed results. I get a little bit. I like. I use FDM for these like plain ones. They work really well. And then I print out some. I've got some Hextech bases and some Mr. Crates hexes. These are SLA printed. If you're gonna print them on your, if you want to print these on your resin printer, you just want them. You want them really high. So like, whereas a normal model you'll do like 35 to 40 degrees, you want to go like 60, 75 degrees, like really tall angle. And even then, you're still going to need to go in and like, you need to over support them, and it's going to lead to like a pretty lengthy cleanup process. But the fidelity that you're getting from printing bases in 0.02 millimeter layer height is unparalleled. It's just like, it's not even comparable. I don't use a glue stick on my bed. I have a PI that does the job. I haven't had to use a glue stick either. The texture has been really good on the bed, but sometimes it takes like, I have to babysit it. Sometimes it just doesn't want to stick, and I have to run a few like initial first layers until it decides to stick. All right, we gotta get a little piece of support here that needs to get. How is that so tough? Jeez, I'm on off there. There we go. The Soriatech ABS, like, man, it's tough. It only breaks when you don't want it to. Alright, we'll get this going. I don't think we're gonna do silver joints. Does this guy have any exposed actuators? No. No. I don't know. Some of these parts are just screaming for metallic, so we're going to do it. The model told us where it wants to be metallic. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna stream until 8. And I'm gonna pull the plug. I feel like fucking garbage. So we're definitely not getting done with these boys today. I will probably be back working on these tomorrow. Maybe the same time. Depends on how, honestly, the time slot depends on how I'm feeling. There will be a stream. I'm doing the stream every day. We're getting through this, and there's going to be a stream every day. So just watch the Discord or the YouTube page if you want to catch them. I don't think we're gonna necessarily have a schedule outside of Tabletop Tuesday at the same time. Code for minis, you can print my bases flat on the plate for FDM and add a wrap if you're printing multiple or full plate. Resin, you can print at a 30-degree angle. 30-degree, so the issue I keep having with 30-degree is I get like a weird like leading edge warping that happens at that shallow of an angle pretty consistently. And I haven't found a solution to combat that. Other than tilting them up really high. And I can't remember whose bases turned me onto that. I want to say it was either a Gaz Minis base or a what's that other one I print? Twin Goddess. It was a Twin Goddess Minis base that was tilted really high. Theirs was really, really high. It was like a 70-degree angle. And it printed fine without that like leading edge warping. So now I kind of default to a really high position, and I've had really good results. The cast bases I do, well, they work. Yeah. Casting is good too, though. I've been planning on doing a piece of content about casting, like making my own bases. Splatterpunk says I printed ABS. So nice, better detail. Just use PLA. Looking in the future, I'm probably going to get a P1S whenever I upgrade to a better printer. Build volume should be able to one-shot a Cosplay Hound. Yeah, that'd be insane. There's plenty of room for most things, yeah. Printing volumes are relevant. Your ability in Blender is paramount. Smaller pieces equals less fail percentage. I also want to upgrade the volume just a bit. 10% increase will negate a lot of cut. Yeah, though I can agree that like skill in Blender does make a lot of things easy. Blender is also a fucking nightmare some days. And speaking of, we are planning and organizing a Blender for Beginners course to be hosted on the Country Fried Minis Discord at some point early in the new year. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out for it over on the Discord. Probably do like a, not sure yet. I'm still in negotiations with the artist. We'll be looking at like a $20-25 per person, probably a 3-hour thing. So if you want to learn some Blender stuff, make sure to keep an eye out for it. 100% of the proceeds will go to the artist who'll be teaching. Yeah, consider it. I hope that it's useful to folks. Blender's been, I mean, really good. Learning a little bit from like just doing digital kit bashing to now starting to sculpt bits for my mech conversions has been really, really nice. The Atlas I'm working on, the Atlas kit bash, is really starting to come along. It's like a 50-50 blend of like straight up digital kit bashing and sculpting of new parts.
I am
The cream.
I am the cream.
The cream of the crop.
There
and there
is
is
no
one that does it better.
No one that does it better. I didn't have that issue when I was doing my test print before uploading on Cults. It's pretty consistent, Slink, for me. My printing always seems to warp the leading edge.
It's that woo woo. You know what I'm saying? Some neighbors are saying way too loud. That's only in the morning. You supposed to be up cooking breakfast or somebody, and so
I don't
that's
think
like
I
an
have any
alarm
more
clock.
handy. I may have thrown them all out. It's like here I can draw what it does.
We're talking about the thumbs. T
can
is for
draw what it
terrible,
does.
H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for jail. Cause
the
the thumb
thumb can't spell. Alright, so like let's pretend like we're looking at the edge on, straight on. So like we got like our 30-degree angle here. Come on, right. There we go. And then I've got my supports coming up like this. Why is this not writing? Please write, pen. Piece of paper, piece of paper, piece of paper, piece of paper, piece of fucking paper. Piece of fucking paper. Piece of paper. Surely there's a fucking piece of paper around here. God damn. Why don't I have a piece of paper at my desk? Paper at my fucking desk. Alright, so we get our nice 30-degree angle here. Should be fine. That bevel is wrong. Let's try to get it more accurate. So we got our 30-degree angle. We've got our bevel coming down. Because the 30-degree, I believe the issue is coming because this bevel angle turns into parallel. So we got our supports coming in like that, basically. And then we got a few on this leading edge. Basically what happens to this is my edge ends up looking like this. And it like comes out like this. Whoosh, it gets this swoop on it. And I don't know what causes it. But for some reason, when I support it really high, I think that this really sharp angle where it's more than perpendicular to the edge, we get these support things fixed. And it just prints out correctly for me. If anybody knows what causes that and what the angles we're looking at that causes that, I definitely would appreciate you posting it in 3D printing over on the community. Because like, could you fix that maybe by doing an even more slight angle? Like, could you come in like a 20-degree maybe? And because this angle right here is a little bit more than perpendicular, maybe that's what's causing it. Not really sure. I'll have to angle it down. Does that point down on one of the corners on the flat? I always do it on the flat. This problem gets even worse if it's the corner down. A good program to edit STLs is Bamboo Studio. Surprising power, no brain required. Learning hard things is good for the brain cell. Time and tear. Oh, I agree. I absolutely agree. I have fucking raged against problems while hanging out in the voice chat over on the Discord, trying to like work my way through troubleshooting FDM printing, and like people are like, oh, you just got to watch this video, and I'm like, I fucking hate watching videos, and I don't want to watch a 45-minute video for him to give me a 5-minute explanation on how to fix a thing. And then you bitch about it, and you get mad, and then you relent and do the thing, and you learn, and you're better out to deal with it. You also have a possible infinite edge with that angle. I don't even know what you're talking about. What that means. Infinite edge? That doesn't logic in my brain, Mr. Mako. It's a new concept on me. Man, I'm sitting here thinking about that paper issue. It's a good way to put paper on the desk. I don't know. Might be the angle. If you can fix it by the changing the angle, do what works. See that? Well, that's the thing. Like, I think that I've seen bases get printed out at the angle you're recommending, and I'm wondering, like, what are the factors that create that problem? If it's like lift speed, curing time, light off time, maybe as well. Like, maybe the machine is like pulling on it before the light is off. I know that some printers have a calculation for light off time that doesn't actually take the exposure time into account. So you could actually, like, you could screw up some of your settings and have the printer be lifting before that layer is cured, depending on machine, depending on software. It's funny, all these are concerns that I'm only like half-ass aware of because of things going wrong and like starting to learn things about the process, the software, all that good stuff. Which is all the reason,
helping
like,
of gravy.
I'm so thankful for the folks who come and hang out in the Discord community. We have a really wide net of experience levels and individual experiences with 3D printing in the community. Could be shitty resin. I wouldn't necessarily lump Soraya Tech's ABS into shitty resin. So, though I'm not going to say I rule that out, I don't think that's the issue here. I think it has to do with some kind of setting that I don't really understand. It's when you have sharp enough angle between two faces, the slicer software can't see the edge of the object and it disappears from the print. I don't think that's what's going on, but that is a neat concept. Because it's definitely there. It's printing it. It's just, as it's printing, it's warping it. And it seems to be like a slippage thing. It could be related to FEP suction, I guess. And admittedly, my Frozen has third-party FPP on it, so it could be part of it. I don't know. I'm just curious. Like, for now, I have a workaround that works. Didn't know Soraya Tech is for big boys. They sell to industry primarily. I don't like the price point on Soraya Tech myself, but I use it. It was recommended to me from a community member, and I use it for all my commercial prints now. I did pick up some Anycubic. What was it called? It's like ABS like Pro 2.0, and I haven't tried it yet. But you know, this could be a good test for it, to run some bases at that like 30-degree angle and see if they warp. I'm really hoping it's as good as my experience with Soraya Tech, because I mean, The ABS light from Soraya almost $40 a kilo. It's absurdly expensive. And I feel even worse for folks in the EU, because they're not only paying those prices, but then they're paying like EU shipping prices. All right, I think that is a good amount of metallic, and we'll move on to the next one. I like my Sunlu. I just haven't had good experience with Sunlu. That's the wild thing. Like, I pretty much find a like universally good reception to Sunlu in people's reviews, and I haven't been able to get it to work worth a damn. I ended up finally using up the remainder of my Sunlu by mixing it in slowly to my Anycubic basic prints at like, I don't know, 10%. I also find surface area solutions like using heavier supports and more supports in general, especially in the first half of the print. It's gotten some well-made bases. Yeah, but oh, the scars. The scarring so bad. Splatterpunk says, I mix Elegoo Gray ABS with Soraya Clear. 2 parts cheapo to 1 part expensive. Mix like you mean it. Interesting. The use of the clear with the gray is an interesting approach, because that'll get you like increased penetration into the resin. Huh. Interesting. I wonder how that would work. The only clear I've played with at this point, I bought some Anycubic basic crystal clear, and that's been fun so far, but I still can't quite figure out how to get a super nice post cure to get it perfectly crystal clear. I need like a stronger LED setup. I'm using a nail curing station, my little Toofy, to do all my curing for me, and I just think these LEDs are not super strong. They're just not intense enough. Temperature and humidity could affect. Yeah, exactly, Slink. And I think that, like, well, y'all have heard me complain enough about the temperature in my apartment. I get some pretty wild swings, probably like 20-degree swings in here. And then I do live about 11 blocks from the water, so humidity is almost always a factor. I don't know, it's just something that's going to require more experimentation, I think, before I can come up with any conclusive results. Boy. Where does this guy even get silver? We got a few gun barrels. He's very red. There's so much armor. I think what we can do, we put a little bit here. I think this whole joint could go silver, and that would look pretty good. So we're gonna do that, just to break up the monotony of the red. Clear is best, easier on your LCD screen hours. Oh, I guess that makes sense, because you can generally do quicker cure per layer. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I like clear resin if I'm gonna do a hollowed print. Make sure that UV penetrates all the way to cure everything inside a well. Oh, that's a really good point too. I will have to give it a go. It's funny, I'm a holdover of Anycubic Basic. I'm a diehard for it. I have really good results with that resin, and I know it's pretty universally recognized as shit garbage tier resin, but it is cheap, and it works well in my printers. Though, if I recall correctly, that also had like the same kind of similar problems with my bases, but even more so. So I don't print the bases in basic. I pretty much use basic though for all my personal applications. If I'm printing parts for my own army or like pin-up models, I'll do it in the basic because it's cheap. It's really cheap. Part of why I'm so like anxious to try out the Anycubics ABS like Pro, because it was the same price as basic, and at least on their advertisement page seemed to offer everything Sorayatech did for less than half the price. We'll see. I'll give a report in the 3D printing section on the Discord when we get there. Yes, uncured is corrosive, will melt through model. Yep, I've been encountering that a lot lately. I've been discovering models which have hollow spaces in them by the way they leak resin out of the surface. Alright. Yeah, that little bit of silver really breaks up this monotony well. Could we get away? I got some kind of splatter there somehow. Alright. Where else can we put a little metal on here? I think down on the feet is a good spot. We have these obvious foot actuators showing. So let's get that going. Well, we're hitting the point of this paint where it's separated out really bad. I'm going to do a second layer. Yeah, the one downside of painting with this airbrushed paint is it fucking separates basically instantly. The moment it hits your palette, it is already starting to separate out the heavy aluminum particles. Alright, we'll do a second coat while we're waiting on that to dry. Though this paint should only take one coat if you get it right out of the bottle. Okay. Right here we'll do a second layer. Come around the back. Second pass. Little tappy-do right there. Did we do a silver flagpole? Do we do a silver flagpole? We can try it. We'll try it, and then if we don't like it, we can paint it over with red later. I almost feel like in this instance, the Hitosumi pilot would probably deliberately choose to have a reflective flagpole to draw attention to the flag showing the Legion of Vega logo. Man. Alright. And actually, y'all, I see the time clock at the moment, and I do feel like fucking garbage. So I'm gonna call tonight's early. Normally I like to try to go for at least 3 hours. But I'm in day one of a fun new illness. Great. And I'm gonna rest. I think 2 hours. 2 hours satisfies the we streamed today requirement. I'm gonna be back tomorrow working on these again. I may or may not do a little more work on the metallics. But we'll get into the metallics. We'll hit them with an ink wash. We'll do sponge chipping and then the cockpits, and they're gonna look absolutely fabulous when we're done. So I'll be back tomorrow, regardless of how I'm feeling. If it's another cruddy day, then we'll do another 2-hour stream. If you get on a sale though, it might be worth it to mix in with other resins. Add some durability accelerator to the mix. Which one? Oh, just mixing in the cure stuff? Or the clear stuff? I think another Nate had recommended picking up one of the tough resins, and you mix in like, it's like less than 10%, and it makes your prints a lot stronger. Anyhow, if you're out there and you have 3D printing knowledge that you'd love to ping back and forth with the computer community, make sure to sign up for the Discord. I mean, obviously I'm here to do the YouTube thing and like push for making the content here successful, but we're also here to generate a community and to make it a fun place for y'all to come in and hang out and share what's going on. Yeah, check it out. Link in the description down below. And keep an eye out. We're going to be streaming every day this month, so more stuff soon. Nate says TH72. Thank you, Nate. Comes there, Night says, get some rest, man. Feel better. Yeah, I'm gonna rest. I think I'm gonna see if I can't get some. Oh, what's that stuff called? The anti-cold over-the-counter pills that have the zinc in them. Let's see if they got any downstairs real quick. Anyhow, I've been Cameron on behalf of Country Fried Minis. This is the painting corner, and we got a little bit of painting done today. Not a whole bunch, but it's a bunch of mechs. We got the dry brushing done. We started on the metallics. We're gonna dive back into these tomorrow, get them done. Aiming to get them in the post by Monday, maybe Tuesday. Send them off. If you want to get your own commission from me, make sure to check out the link down below. Check out my offers on Fiverr. I do a lance for $150, and that includes shipping, and of course they'll get painted up here on stream. So if you want to show support for the channel, that is the bread and butter. Make sure to check it out, and of course I'd be eternally thankful. In any case, I want y'all to remember to be happy while you're painting. And as always, to know that your participation here on Country Fried Minis makes me happy while I'm painting. Alright, I feel like shit. I'm going to call it. Lots of love. Talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye. Tonight's stream has been brought to you by a quickly oncoming, hopefully just a head cold. So yeah, thank y'all for stopping by.